Hey guys, welcome back to Our Vision Farm. Some new updates. Yesterday we got in our perimeter fencing for what's going to be our meat chicken area and the garden plot. So I'm going to go around and show you. All we did really was pound in the T-post. We have not installed the electric fence yet, but I wanted to show you kind of so you can get an idea of how the scale is. So right now we're behind our house, towards the back facing wall of it. Actually, it's to the right of the house. So this is the plot where I had always imagined the garden to go. So we started tilling that, and as you know, we've already planted tulips and garlic, and those have come up this week, so I'm very excited for that. But because those came up, especially the tulips, I'm concerned about the deer coming to eat them. So we thought we really need to start getting this fence up. We're gonna put electric on it. We set up the T-post so far, pounded all those in. So I'll take you around the perimeter of the fence so you can see. Based on the measurements, this is about 0.40 of an acre, so less than half an acre that we're fencing in. And that alone, like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but we're going to get a lot done in this small amount of space. This area right here that's not tilled is where we're going to be rotating our meat chickens in all their stages, while they're little chicks to full-grown chicks. We still have to build some transition pens that they can go in while they're still small and too small to go into the bigger pens. But we ordered some metal bigger pens that we are going to have to build in here, and then that's where they're going to go while they are fully feathered out and onto the stages of almost getting ready to be butchered. So this will be like the plot where we rotate them onto fresh grass, and once summer comes, this area will be nice and green. Right now everything looks dead, but this grass over here is nice and rich and bright green, so the chickens are gonna have lots of fresh grass to eat and to pick for worms and bugs. So this right here, I plan on leaving a gap from where the chickens are going to be to where the garden starts. So over there where you see the T-post, all this is going to be the meat chicken area. And then over here is where the garden starts. So we did a couple rows in the fall time. So let me see. So this is garlic right here. This whole row of garlic has sprouted. It's hard to see from far away, but once I get close up, you can see every little garlic poking out of there all along that row. And we covered it with grass clippings and leaves during the fall time, so they could be well protected through the winter, and they have poked out of there by themselves. So this whole first row is garlic. I don't remember how many cloves we planted. I want to say around 40 to 45, and many of those have sprouted. So then the second row right here is the tulips. So let me get over here where you can see them a little bit better. Tulips. And I believe we planted white tulips, red tulips, maybe some pink ones. And then we planted some other bulb flowers. So I think those are starting to come up too. That's what this looks like. They haven't all sprouted yet though. Just every now and then I'm seeing a little sprout coming out of the ground that looks like this. So that must be some of the other bulb flowers that we planted in here, things that supposedly deer don't like. I don't remember the names of them, but it was 3 different type of bulb flowers that we planted in here. So garlic, tulips, and some other spring type bulb flowers. That's all we have going in here so far. The rest of this has been tilled. But before we actually get veggies in here, I think we're going to go through it one more time with the tiller. And then we still have a section over there to till as well before we're ready to get like actual seedlings in here and some seeds that we have to directly sow into the garden as well. So and our idea is to continue, like after planting, we're going to continue using grass clippings to kind of layer, using it kind of like mulch, or how people would use wood chips on their garden. That's what we're going to keep doing. So that way down the line it becomes kind of a no-till garden, although we are tilling initially right now to break up this grass. I like to eventually just have no-till and just continue layering all the natural materials on top of the dirt to suppress weeds and retain the moisture and just provide the plants with the nutrients as that compost and breaks down. So heading all the way back here is where we still have left to till. So this is where we left off, and we'd like to till all the way to where you see the last T-post over here. So this is where the garden will end. So we'll get all this tilled up, and all of this will be our vegetable garden for the summer of 2024. So let me get past these T-posts so you can get an idea of what it looks like all together. It's a huge area, but we will be splitting it half and half, so half for the meat chickens and the other half for the garden. So this is the whole right side of our house, kind of heading towards the back. And then in the future, I foresee us continuing to till all the way back here as close to the woods as we can get. That will almost double, maybe triple the garden. If we reach all the way to the woods, that would triple the size. But I think for this year, just this plot right here is going to be more than enough to maintain this year. And then we have mostly vegetable plants. I do have some flowers. I'm kind of going to interplant, or companion plant I should say, because we do have a flower garden that we're going to plant with flowers. But I think it's also a good idea to plant things like marigolds and some other flower varieties to attract pollinators and try to keep the bad bugs away in between the vegetables too. So that'll be kind of a combination area. And then for now, for this area back here, we have watermelons, 2 different varieties of watermelons that I want to plant, plus 1 type of pumpkin that I want to try out this year. So I figure, since pumpkins and watermelons, they get so big, that this area behind the garden would be a good spot to kind of make a watermelon patch and a pumpkin patch area. Nothing huge, just till like a big round square where I could plant the seedlings, and then probably put some temporary fencing, maybe like deer net or something. It's not going to be electrified like the actual vegetable garden will be, but we still want to provide some type of protection for like rabbits getting in and eating the seedlings, or the deer getting in and eating the plants while they're just about to start producing. So that's what we're going to use this little area back here for, just till a little spot to plant watermelons and pumpkins, so that it's not using up our space that we need for the vegetables. So that is what we've done so far. We got all those T-posts pounded in yesterday. Took about maybe a little bit over an hour. Then we already have most of the things that we need. We have the wire and insulators. So all we have left to get this weekend is the Energizer. We're going to do a solar powered Energizer to power the fence, and that is pretty much it. We got to get some grounding rods, and we'll see what else last minute things that we need to set this fence up. But we definitely have to do it ASAP because we don't want the deer to get into our tulips. Those tulips just recently came out of the ground, and based on I think it's like 2 to 3 weeks that we should see flowers. So I definitely want to add some tulips to our farm stand, to our roadside stand, while we have them. And I'm just excited to see some color in the garden. And since it's not time to plant anything into the garden yet, everything is inside. We're starting all our seeds indoors. I've shared videos of everything we've started so far, and this week I am due to plant a whole bunch more seeds. So things are getting very tight inside. I'm very much looking forward to when it's planting time outside, so I can get some of these things out of the house and into the ground. But of course we want to be safe and wait until very end of May, early June to get the really cold sensitive things out here. But that is what our fence will be looking like once we get it finished up. It's a huge area. Like, it really puts it into perspective seeing the outline of it, of how big the garden is going to be. Of course, it's not as big as like gardens that do acres, or farms that do acres and acres of gardens, but I think it's a good start for the first year. We'll be able to cram so many plants and vegetables in here that I think it's going to be a good season for us to have homegrown veggies and have enough to share with our community as well in our farm store. And aside from this vegetable garden and the meat chicken plot, plus the pumpkins and watermelons that we want to plant back there, we also have the flower garden in the works. Let me head over there so I can record real quick how that is looking so far. And we plan on starting our honeyberry orchard back here. That's going to be focused on the back of the field. We have the Carmine Jewel sour cherry bush trees or bush plants to figure out where we want to put those. I'm not quite sure if I want to start like an orchard of those, or if I just want to kind of sprinkle them in different areas of the yard. So I'm still pondering over that. But for the Hascat berries, I definitely want to do an orchard style where you do like the rows. So I want to plant those in rows and eventually fill up this whole backfield. We officially have our RV hookup all set up. We're just trying to wait until the weather kind of warms up a bit and we don't have freezing nights anymore. But the RV hookup is right next to our garage here, and we plan on getting some extension cords so that we can have visitors park their camper or RV here because it's a little bit more leveled. Plus we have a septic hookup right here for campers. So I think this would be a nice spot for a camper to park and have the view of the field. But all the electrical work and things are done and complete right there on the side of the garage. So that is ready to use. If somebody wanted to use it right now, it's just the problem with the water. Our water source is just going to be a hose that comes from our cellar. So we can't really have like really cold nights where we have a risk of the water hose freezing up overnight. So we're kind of just waiting until the weather warms up so we can start advertising that on all the different sites so that we can rent out the RV rental for short-term rental. So here is the progress on the flower garden. This is like the side of it, but the entrance is going to be in here. These are raspberry bushes to the left and to the right, so there's like a little pathway to walk in, and then we're going to have the little raised garden beds. So right now what we're doing is filling them up with branches, grass clippings. We have to buy a pitchfork so we can get some of these grass clippings in here, food scraps that I'm saving, and wood that we're just trying to fill up the bulk of the garden boxes, so then we can go back with some soil and top them off, and then this will be ready to plant flowers in. Some flowers we're starting indoors, some of them we are starting straight from seeds outside, so we're just waiting until the week that we're supposed to be doing that. So that is what we're starting so far between the vegetable garden, the meat chickens, planting the beginnings of our honeyberry orchard, planting our cherry trees, and the kiwi berries. We have 6 kiwi berry plants that we're going to be getting into the ground. I'm thinking somewhere around the flower garden area. That would be a perfect spot for those, but that's not completely decided yet either. But we have a lot of projects going on for this summer, and it's going to be an exciting first year with lots of things to do, and hopefully lots of success with our garden, especially because the community is very excited for fresh vegetables and cut flowers and our meat chickens. They're all looking forward to that. So we are just praying for lots of success and being able to share with the community in that way through our farm store. So just wanted to give you an update on what we had done yesterday and give you a visual of how our garden and our meat chicken area is going to look. And I'll give you an update once we get the fence actually up, and of course as we start planting in here, tilling and all that fun stuff. I will keep you updated on all the new projects going on the property, but I'll see you guys in the next video.